Ishvaro Vikramii Dhanvi Medhaavi Vikramakramaha. Vikramii, the courageous one. Lord Vishnu is the courage in those who have profound convictions. It also means putting the special steps, like the steps or the strides in the Vamana Avatara. We'll take the next one, which is Dhanvi, one armed with a bow. Lord Krishna says in Gita, I am Rama among those who wield a weapon. Rama Shastrabhirata Maham in chapter 10, sloka 31. The weapon of Lord Sri Rama was a bow and arrow called Kodanda. Lord Vishnu also wields a bow and arrow called Samga. The bow in his hand is symbolic of the purpose of his incarnation, which is for establishing the righteousness, protecting the virtuous, and punishing the wicked. What we had done in our recitation conclusions as Paritranaya Sadhunam Vinashaya Dushkritam. So let's look at the next one, which is Medhavi, or one who is supremely intelligent. All intelligence in the world is centered in the Lord. He is the awareness. He was the Medhavi who designed and built this amazingly complex universe single-handed. The deity for intelligence is Saraswati, or the goddess of wisdom, and she is described as the tongue of Mahavishnu. So let's spend a little time on this and see how it is applicable to our lives too. Medhavi, or the learned person, is also something that we in our day-to-day living life have come across, called the subject matter experts, or the SMEs. They have the ability to comment and provide insights on very different subjects. And there's that urge to comment and provide such perspective ourselves with the wisdom that we have gained and our point of view as well. And such a motivation to do, or the urge, is coming or emanating from a need to be sincere to ourselves, right? We acquired that wisdom and we want to be sincere to ourselves, and we try to make our point of view and our perspective be heard by others. So you think, as you do that, you think you need to be honest to yourself, or to be authentic, or to be sincere. But when we do that, there's another angle that comes in. And let's understand what that is. Which means that you need not be mean, but that does not mean that we have to hurt others through this honesty, or this motivation to be honest and sincere to ourselves and talking the truth that may definitely hurt another person. So one can argue that the truth was spoken definitely not out of love for the truth, but to dominate, or to prove wrong, or just to hurt somebody, or using truth as a weapon. And once used as a weapon, it is not truth, but a device which is worse than a lie. So let's use discrimination to be a good player. Let's learn the rules of the game. Let's not be too adamant about anything. Yes, know well what you want for yourself and remain that. But there are others also, and don't unnecessarily hurt them. If you need to wear a mask, absolutely wear them. But let's remember, they are not our original or real faces. So be capable of taking them off any moment. Let's learn a little more in terms of the Medhavis, or the subject matter expert, also through the tale of the fox from the Aesop fable, where the fox is wandering in the jungle and it gets its tail caught in a snarl put by a hunter. But while trying to escape, its tail is cut off, and it now thinks that he needs to tell others that that is the right thing to have for oneself. So it brings its pack of friends together, and with its tail cut, it tells everyone, hey, I've cut my tail, so should you. All of you too should cut your tails, and that will help you to be safe. You won't be uh, killed by humans because of their desire to keep your tail. You won't be hunted down by the wolves who try to put their feet upon your tail and catch you from escaping. And many such wisdom it tries to share with its friends and ask them also to cut the tail. And then another of the curious fox, a friend of his, comes and sees the rear end of the fox, and it finds it absolutely funny that the very nature or the key attribute of that fox is completely cut off, and it just doesn't make sense. They laugh that fox away, who just runs away back into the jungle. So in other words, the whole of it is to use our own wisdom and discrimination in terms of what we are going to speak, what you're going to effuse, and make sure that we have a fair degree of love. So there is a celebrated Indian philosopher who says the scholars are like the kites. They're high in the sky, but on the rat below is where their eye lie. Scholars are like the kites high in the sky, but on the rat below is where their eye lie. So whatever be the high status that a society bestows upon a scholar, in the absence of discrimination is where they behave, where their eyes are always a much lower a strata of interest. So we need to use discrimination. Discrimination is the ability to judge where to engage and where not to. Or discrimination can also be seen as the application of moral and ethical value, and ensuring above truth is love. So you put love and care, and that holds a higher value in truth. So absence of discrimination, we tend to respond to all stimulus and impulses that comes our way. So we need to employ such discrimination heavily. Be loving if you feel truth will be hurtful and violent. It is better to lie than to be true. You have to wait for the right moment when you can be true and help the other person to come to such a state where your truth will not hurt them anymore. So, mere scholarship or medhavi has no value without the application of this discrimination.